So we've been having a rough fucking time, which is fairly standard, but also it's been a little bit more rough than usual. To summarise broadly, there's gestures broadly at all of the dissociative and CPTSD. Yeah, I really hope that comes up on the recording. That was the absolutely perfect music to have. Yes, it's it's been fucking rough. There's just so much, and we're at a point where we've been in therapy for coming up to 3 years. Yay, go us, big celebration. With a trauma-informed therapist. We're really lucky. And I think barriers are coming down enough between parts of myself, and then a little bit between me and Vince, and a little bit between me and Connor, and a little bit between me and like a couple of like Art and Mal and a couple of the other people in the system. And it's enough to like really notice how much happens. Like I have anywhere from emotional amnesia to like full blackout amnesia at some point every day, for every day, and like, and then in other parts of me, I also end up in flashbacks like a good lot of the time, and sort of integrating and trying to fuse between trauma holding parts and host parts of me. This all feels kind of like endless and eternal and like the only existence I've ever known, and yet also kind of new and kind of shocking and kind of like really surprising, I guess. And I think we're working through enough of the defenses that we're protecting parts of me from seeing how traumatized we've been and how fucked up everything we have to deal with on a daily basis is, that now I can see it. And it's just been like a game of treading water, basically, to try and manage all of the symptoms. And we are not functional. We are like functional in the sense of that due to really hard work, nobody is currently actively suicidal in behavior, and no one is currently actively hurting the body. Over exercising maybe mildly counts, but like nowhere near what we would have done before. And we are mostly not drinking. It's rare that we drink. So like our coping mechanisms are moving more along the lines of trying to be healthy ones, but they keep getting overwhelmed the more we bring down defenses like dissociation, and I guess depersonalization and derealization are probably defenses too. So it's like shit's starting to look pretty fucking scary, actually. And very real. And I'm not so amnesic of how many symptoms we encounter in a day. So it's kind of looking more like I can actually kind of see how rough this is. And then also, we've been looking at pursuing more intensive treatment and a diagnosis. I think more intensive treatment really, like, and just knowing what the fuck is going on, like, the hope being that if we can find a more specialist service, maybe they'll have like more knowledge and more information on the types of things we're encountering and the types of things you can do to work at managing the metric fuck ton of different symptoms that we all experience system-wide. Because at the minute it's like it's really rough and most people can't front, but we're like managing with the skill sets we have, in a sense of that we're surviving, we're treading water, but we try and build more connection between us, and we try and disable defenses that have kept us, you know, away from the trauma, but thus very on autopilot and in survival mode. And the more suicidal ideation and like needing to drink and thoughts and seriously strong fucking urges of self-harm just become way harder to deal with for so many parts of us. And I'm very, very aware of all of this happening now, which I wasn't before, because of pursuing this diagnosis, and treatment, which I'm really spaced out. Involves basically, we've gone to the GP and we've told her, look, we found this service, it's looks like it can offer what we need, can you refer us there? And she was like, yes, we have to apply to the board for funding for the service. They can be a bit difficult, here's the sort of things we can do to make you have more of a chance of them saying yes. So she asked us to write out what we've currently been diagnosed with, and I don't fucking remember, and I don't have access to all of our paperwork because like most of it is at our mum's house and we're not in contact and we can't get it. So I actually have zero idea. Like, I think I know, but I'd only be able to say this is what, to my knowledge, I think we've been diagnosed with, and then what treatments we've explored and what we hope to get out of being referred to them. So that's like kind of a lot. Every single element of that is a lot, especially when daily life and just like literally staying fucking alive is a lot. And then added to that a lot, we've had a lot of like, I mean there's always struggles, kind of never not, but there's like the most recent ones have been having really difficult things to deal with as we get used to communicating and connecting between parts of us, and communicating and connecting with each other, and communicating and connecting with people around us, all of these things being new to so many parts of us, especially those who identify as persecutors. And it's fucking foreign as shit, and it's really threatening, and there's a lot to get used to, and it's totally unknown. So that sort of sends the brain into like survival responses. Anyway, I'm trying to make this unfamiliar, intimate, fucking terrifying shit look safe enough to not withdraw is like a full-time job, and then trying to understand what's happening and interpret, and what's even the word for it, like what do you do with feelings? Good question. You identify them, yes. Identifying, thank you, and interpreting and experiencing emotions is like a whole thing on its fucking own. And then working out how we communicate in a healthy way about all of those and what the fuck is going on in every level has been really fucking challenging and really fucking new. Although at times better than anything I've ever known, and with a sense of wholeness and security, and I guess a felt sense of safety, you know, before the abject terror and the withdrawing kick in, that is better than anything I've ever experienced. So, worth it. Freakishly terrifying. Very high risk, high reward. So there's been like all of these things that we're just kind of trying to learn to function in this completely new way, and trying to explore things that are completely alien to us and learn what the fuck is going on, and try to make it feel vaguely safe enough that we can keep doing it. I've learned that I connect and disconnect with parts of myself topic dependent. So I think things that I think and feel can create distance between parts of me, or integration between parts of me, pretty much minute by minute as I approach them. And I've learned this because I'm feeling a lot of very different extreme things at the minute. Because I don't just have feelings now and emotions, I have feelings about my feelings, and I assign meaning to my emotions, and I don't know when I'm right and when I'm wrong, and if there is an objectively right meaning to be assigned at any one given time to any emotion. Granted that this is hoping that I could fucking identify it accurately in the first place. So we've got the emotions wheel saved as my phone screensaver, which is like moderately helpful. I wouldn't not recommend it. It's not like it's fixing all my fucking problems. So there's all of this, and learning how to communicate as a system, learning how to function together instead of, we've always been so polarized and like, okay, we've always, oh, it depends which part of me I'm speaking from. Wow, we have a very complex and varied history, but working together and working out how we deal with things without like ever self-abandoning or attacking each other is new. And realizing it's all happening, oh my god. I'm gonna say it again, fusions between trauma holding and host parts is rough. Is fucking rough. I have other parts as well, but like those ones particularly. That's a rough dynamic. So it's hard to tell which way is up. Everything is unfamiliar, everything's really extreme, everything's very chaotic, and we're just about treading water without reverting to really unhealthy coping mechanisms, using all of the therapy skills that we've gained through our nearly 3 years of therapy with our current therapist, plus all of the education and practice that we put in every single fucking day in our own time. And we've recently come to like realize how hard it is and how much actually we really need more specialized services and support and information, and I think a diagnosis would really help the host parts of me. It's been in debate for a long time. It almost feels like in some parts of me I don't want that to be the case. I want to just be able to work through the denial whenever it hits and be fine without it. Because it's like kind of external validation, you know, and I'd rather just not need that. But I understand and I accept that a lot of parts of me were conditioned to require that for our safety throughout our whole life, and like don't really know anything else. So I also understand that denial is a really strong bastard, and there's things you can do, like trauma doesn't lie is a helpful thing to remember. Like, it's a hard science, actually, when you track things by your triggers and your symptoms and the somatic expression of them. Like, everything all together is very much evidence of what's happened. The problem is that the closer I get to the evidence of what's happened and the more inescapably it looks like reality, the more the denial kicks in, because that's what it did to protect me. So I might be entirely wrong. We might get a diagnosis and I might be able to hold it in my hands, this piece of paper, and the denial might find ways to make it not help at all. I might still be like, well, I could have fooled the professionals, or professionals change their mind all the time, or like I can kind of already imagine the sort of bullshit it's gonna do before I've even done it. But I don't think it'll do any damage to get one, and some parts of me feel like it could be validating. It could be something tangible and like an extra level, I guess, that some parts of me could use. So yeah, has been a struggle to accept in the first place, but we're at the place of going, okay, I accept that that could help some of us. So I'd also really love to have like everything diagnosed, because I don't know what else we might have. The CPTSD and dissociative symptoms are, and like, you know, they are not ambiguous. Barely survivable at least means pretty fucking obvious. So, I mean, not even because of the denial all the time. It's fucked. But a lot of us have symptoms that would also be in line with things like BPD. I think we were diagnosed with ADHD and OCD and autism, but I would love, because now I'm understanding more about how those actually can be expressions of CPTSD anyway, so it would be nice to know what the fuck is going on and what the fuck symptom is doing what. So there's like a lot that we actually need from this service. Skills to survive every day would be nice, like a way to be able to work out how to support other parts of the system so that people confront without it risking our safety. And just trying to work out like how we'd move more towards thriving from just barely surviving would be good. Maybe even fucking being able to function, that would be cool, because it's really hard to just struggle through every fucking day, even though I'm so proud of how we're doing and that we're doing so fucking well, and we are, with an absolutely unmanageable amount of shit. It's just, I really see how fucking unmanageable it is. And more so because writing, you know, what do we hope to achieve out of this diagnosis and out of this referral to them and out of the treatment they could provide, we have to actually look at what we could get from that and say right now we can only afford, for one thing, money is shit, and affording therapy privately has been wiping us out. We can only afford 1 to 3 times a month, and really we could use it once or twice a week. So like, that's fucked. That would be really nice to have. Also, these people have worked with systems before, so they will likely have like things like system communication. There might be ways to build it that we don't just trial and error and stumble our way through. They might like have an idea of how to do that. And like more knowledge and shit. I'm definitely repeating myself because I definitely feel like I'm switching between parts of me because I don't remember what I've been saying half of the time. Which is fine. Radical acceptance. It's like the only thing I can do at the minute. Radical acceptance. This is just what's happening and it's fine. Experientially, it's a bitch, but there's nothing wrong with us that it's happening. So yeah, because of all these things and because of looking at what we could actually really need from this service and what it could provide and how different our support level could look, it's made it really obvious how difficult things are, and that's made it really difficult to function through them, because obviously the reason I was not aware is to function through them. That's part A.